In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on October 9, 2022, and providing you with team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Atlanta Falcons versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday in an NFC South matchup. Last season, the Bucs beat the Falcons 48-25 in Tampa Bay on September 19th and 30-17 in Atlanta on December 5th. Tom Brady owns the Falcons. Obviously, the 28-3 comeback in Super Bowl 51 is the main event, but overall Brady is 9-0 straight up and 8-1 against the spread in his career versus Atlanta. The only non-cover was a game in 2020 when the Falcons jumped out to a 17-0 halftime lead at home, only to allow Brady and the Bucs to storm back with a 31-10 second half to win by 4, failing to cover a 6-point spread. All of those trends are fun, but the core of his game also presents a matchup problem for Atlanta. For the most part, Tampa's defense has played well this season, 5th in EPA play and 8th against the pass, but they haven't graded out well against the run, which is surprising considering that has historically been the strength of their unit. Todd Bowles' defense is allowing nearly 47% of runs to be graded successful, the 7th worst percentage in the NFL. Unfortunately, the Falcons are in no position to take advantage this week after placing Cordarrelle Patterson on IR with a knee injury. Patterson has accounted for 50% of the team's rushing yards this season and has been a dangerous weapon in all phases of the game out of the backfield. In steps rookie Tyler Allgeier, who showed well against the Browns, gaining 84 yards on 10 carries, but now he must carry the load in his first career start against a historically difficult front to run on. That means more of this game will fall on the shoulders of Marcus Mariota, who came on strong but has trended down the past 2 weeks as more of this Arthur Smith offense gets put on tape for defenses to digest. Mariota completed just 7 of 19 passes for 139 yards with a -20 completion percentage over expectation against Cleveland. The Bucs are getting healthier on offense, and Brady looked a little more in sync with a new cast of characters around him at receiver in garbage time against the Chiefs. Atlanta generates a league-worst 11% pressure rate, so Tom should have plenty of time to pick apart this bottom-feeder defense. Another factor to consider here is the number, which opened with the Bucs -11.5 earlier this summer. I like getting a full field goal discount through a secondary key number after 2 straight Tampa losses and a misleading Falcons win over the Browns, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Tampa Bay has scored at least 31 points in their last 4 games against Atlanta, averaging 38 points per game over those contests. Although that is encouraging news for the over, this also gives the Falcons tremendous incentive to try and slow this game down. Although I see the Bucs offense moving the ball through the air, the Falcons will have issues against the Bucs defense that is allowing the 6th fewest amount of yards per play in the NFL. Once Atlanta falls behind, Mariota isn't going to be able to get the job down and move the chains. I think the total will be tight in this one, and I'm expecting a 31-13 type final score. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Seattle Seahawks versus New Orleans Saints. The Seattle Seahawks take on the New Orleans Saints in an NFC bout on Sunday afternoon. The Seahawks registered a wild road victory against the Lions in their previous action. The Saints were dealt a narrow loss by the Vikings in their latest clash. The Saints beat the Seahawks 13-10 last season. The Seahawks are 4-0 in their last 4 in October and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games versus a team with a losing home record. The over is 5-1 in the Seahawks' last 6 versus the NFC. Meanwhile, the Saints are 37-14 against the spread in their last 51 in October and 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 on turf. New Orleans is 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 at home. The Saints are coming off of a long trip from London as quarterback Dalton is most likely to get the start for the Saints. This could be a big-time trap game for New Orleans that had their entire focus on the overseas game. For Seattle, Smith has become more and more comfortable as the starting quarterback, especially with the breakthrough performance from Perry last week, who ran for 151 yards. The Saints allowed 124 yards per game on the ground, which will allow Perry and the mobile Smith to run through open lanes in the defense. I believe that the Saints, who have turned the ball over 11 times for second worst in the league, will make some careless mistakes in the game after a hangover in London. So the Seattle Seahawks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Last week, the Seahawks were involved in one of the highest scoring games in the entire NFL this season. A total of 93 points were scored against a Detroit squad that leads the NFL in scoring. As mentioned, Geno Smith has been incredible and has good chemistry with Lockett and Metcalf. In addition, the Saints' offense has fared reasonably well considering the injuries, and they will definitely contribute a decent portion towards this total. They scored 25 points last week, and Seattle has a bad defense. The Seahawks ranked 28th against the pass, and Winston and Dalton has led them to the 9th-ranked passing offense. Perry had his best performance of the season last year, and with the possible return of New Orleans' Alvin Kamara, both teams are going to rely on the run. The clock will be ticking all afternoon as each team wants to control the game clock. This will force teams to get aggressive defensively and stack players in the box. The offenses will use play-action passes to their advantage and create big chunk plays. Points may be scored quickly using this style of play. The over is 7-1 in Saints' last 8 games in October. The over is 5-1 in Seahawks' last 6 versus the NFC. This will be a shootout. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Texans versus Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars play host to the Houston Texans on Sunday afternoon in an AFC South matchup from TIAA Bank Field. The Texans started the season strong, grabbing a tie against the divisional favorites in Week 1. But they are still searching for their first win. For the Jags, a 2-2 start leaves room for improvement, though with the division looking like it could be anyone's, Jacksonville is happy where it stands. Jacksonville hasn't won a game between these two since all the way back in 2017, but being at home, anything less than snapping Houston's winning streak in the series would be a massive letdown. The Jaguars weren't able to run the football against a very good Eagles run defense, and Lawrence struggled with the condition after the rain picked up significantly in the second quarter of last week's loss. Jacksonville's defense has looked very good through a month of the season, and the Jaguars will get a Houston offense that comes in averaging just 18 points per game. Davis Mills continues to struggle for the Texans, and the third-round pick doesn't have many weapons to work with either. The Texans' defense has been solid, but Jacksonville has been impressive offensively so far this season. The Jaguars are averaging 26 points per game despite seeing their offense significantly limited in the second half of last game due to inclement weather. Lawrence should have added motivation after last week's struggles, and he's looked very comfortable this year behind a rebuilt offensive line and with much better weapons than the young quarterback had last year. So the Jacksonville Jaguars to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Houston is averaging just 18 points per game, and they will face a 4th-ranked Jacksonville defense on Sunday that has talent at all 3 levels. The Jaguars had 2 first-round picks in last year's draft, and they picked 2 players in Walker and Lloyd who both look like they should be solid starters in the league for years to come. Mills is a young quarterback, and Jacksonville should be able to take away the weak Texan running game and put the pressure on him. Even though Jacksonville's offense is averaging 26 points per game, the Jags are unlikely to stay aggressive with a lead against a weak Texan offense. Robinson has been strong at running back this year, and Jacksonville is likely to focus on their defense and running game if they are able to build an early lead. The Jags have the league's 4th best scoring defense, and considering Houston's struggles moving the ball against opponents far worse than Jacksonville this season, I don't expect much from them. Houston has one of the league's worst rushing defenses, and Jacksonville's likely insistence on moving the ball on the ground as a result will limit possessions and scoring in this one. Additionally, for the Texans, the under is 7-2 in their last 9 road games. This is expected to be one of the lower scoring games of the weekend in the NFL, and Jacksonville's defense will be a big reason why that'll be the case. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.